received. The interest received is also known as the investment income. We also have 1, 2, 3 dividend received, but we don't have that. So I will record on the first column. I will record on the first column. Right. Do we have the dividend received? We don't have. Obviously, we don't have. What about the interest received? Interest received is the investment income, right? This is what, 320, right? Like I said, the format will be there, guys, in your exam, right? So don't worry. Now, what about the additions of the and the sale proceeds? Right. I'm going to do a working. So allow me to write this as the W2. Do we have the assets that we acquired during the year? Now, this is the important note number 1. During the year ended, Cracker disposed of some items of plant and equipment. So guys, when you are doing cash flow statements, make sure that you prepare the PP account. So guys, the first account that you prepared was what? On the workings, it was taxation account, right? You also need the PPE account. It's a must. You must prepare that account. So we are doing a working. This is my W2, the PPE account. Yes, this is our statement. We are continuing with our statement. So find somewhere where you write the workings. The PPE account. Find somewhere where you write the workings. So this is my debit. This is my credit. PPE representing what? Property, plant, and equipment, right? We are looking at all non-current assets. 8. I'll write that 8 carrying amount. 8 carrying amount. I will prepare my account at carrying amount. Guys, some of the questions you'll be given costs the accumulated depreciation and the balance. Just take the carrying amount balance. It will be easy if you do that. So the assets, they are represented by a debit balance. So I will record my balance BD on the debit side and my balance CD on the opposite side. So looking at the question, let's go to the financial position. That's where you see the non-current assets. The financial position. The financial position. The opening balance is 7,500. The closing balance is 73,000, right? So the opening balance is 7,500. The closing balance is 73,000. These are the balances. So what I will record on the debit side, I will record the amounts that increase the balance of PPE. Anything that increases our PPE balance, I will record it on the debit. Anything that reduces the PPE balance, I will record it on the credit side. So guys, what do you think should be recorded on the debit side? Additions, yes, sir. And we are also calculating the additions. We want to calculate the assets that we acquired during the year. How much was paid to acquire assets? You understand? So this is what we are looking for. What else is recorded on the debit? If they are revaluation what? Surplus, you understand? If they are assets that have gained in value, they will be recorded on the debit side. But on the additional information, I didn't see the revaluation surplus. So you always check. But it doesn't mean if it's not there in the additional information, it's not there. You go to the equity section to see if there was revaluation surplus. On the equity section, there is no revaluation surplus, right? Some of the questions you'll be given revaluation surplus on the equity section. And what you do is you See, you look at the difference if there is an increase. If there is an increase, that will be the surplus. But on this we don't have, so this will be nil. What's recorded on the credit side in the PPE account? We record all the items that reduces our balance, such as what? Disposal, right? If we dispose of assets, it will be recorded on the credit side. But guys, the disposal, I don't know, people, they do have challenge with this. I don't know why. The disposal, guys, we will be recording what? What do we record? The heading is PPE at carrying amount. So we need the disposal at what? Carrying amount. We are not recording the amount that you received, but we are recording the carrying amount of the asset that was disposed. So let's look at the question on note number 1. Are we given the carrying amount of the asset that was disposed? The carrying amount of the items at the disposal date is 800,000. Is given, so it's there. On the credit side, what's also recorded on the credit? What's also recorded on the credit side? Guys, what do we record on the credit? Yes, depreciation for the year. Depreciation for the year. And remember, even it's there on the note 1, it's 500,000. So 500 here. Then you close off, you balance off. 800 plus 500 plus 73,000. I'm getting 74,300. 74,300. The difference, that would be 3,800. So the assets that were acquired during the year is 3,800. But guys, acquisition, these are the assets that were acquired. Most people, they make mistake by recording this as positive. If it's an inflow, we add. If it's an outflow, we deduct. So the 3,800 was an outflow. So we acquired, guys. So I'm going to record it as negative. Guys, when you record the PPE account, make sure you also prepare another account. You understand? Make sure you also prepare the account for the asset that was disposed. Do you understand me? Don't prepare the PPE account only without also calculating the profit or loss on disposal. You understand? Because they do have a relationship. You need to complete that account. If you don't complete that account, you won't be able to get other amounts. Like in the exam, sometimes some of the questions you will not be given the profit or loss on disposal. Some of the questions, like on this one, we are not given the amount that you actually received for the asset that was sold. If you read note number 1, they are saying we disposed an item of plant equipment, and we are given its carrying amount. Are you seeing this? But you're not given the amount that you sold it for. It was sold for how much? That's why I'm saying you need that account. It has a close relationship. That account and the PP account, they do have a close relationship. Like the profit or loss on what? The profit or loss on disposal. You understand? Will you be able to see? Okay, let me do this. The profit or loss on disposal. The profit or loss on disposal. On disposal. So when you prepare the PP account, just know that this one is a must. You understand? Do you remember the non-current assets? You remember what you did on non-current assets? When you calculate profit or loss on disposal, you compare two things. The sold proceeds and what? Sale proceeds, we compare two things. sell proceeds versus carrying amount. You remember? Yes, like this one, sell proceeds or trade-in value. If you did trade the asset, you understand? Carrying amount, and you get your profit or loss on what? On disposal. But we used to do this to calculate the profit, right? But on this question, it is the profit that is given. You remember? It is the profit that is given. In the profit or loss, you are given the profit on disposal of how much? The profit on disposal is how much? 300, right? It is the profit that is given. The profit is 300, guys. And the carrying amount is how much? Of the asset that was disposed. Is there or not number one? Note number one, the carrying amount is 800,000, right? Even we also recorded the 800 in the PP account, if you remember. So it's 800. But remember what you used to do, guys? Sell, right? Sell minus carrying amount, you then get your profit. So are you saying that on this question, we do not have the sell proceeds? Are you seeing that? So sell minus carrying amount, I'll get 300. So there is an amount here that if I less 800, it will give me 300. So what is X? Backwards 300. If you are doing backwards on your calculator, you add, right? So this will be 1.1. 1,100, right? So we now have the sale proceeds 1.1. You understand? So guys, the additions and the disposal is very important. When you open the PPE account, you are calculating what? We said you open the PPE account to calculate what? To calculate the additions. Are you seeing this? But in the exam, you don't need to claim. What you can claim maybe is the format. You understand? But not to claim the question. Because you can answer a question in the exam where the additions will be on additional information. If you are now given the additions, it means now there is something that needs to be calculated. You still open that account. You record your additions on the debit. Maybe you will not be given depreciation charge. So you then calculate the depreciation charge. So guys, this is my advice. When you are writing the final exam, make sure you prepare these accounts. So it is wise for you, number one, to start by calculations. You start with calculations first. Like you need your taxation account. You need the PPE account. You remember that on operating activities, we recorded the depreciation charge and the profit or loss on disposal. Sometimes the profit or loss, it will not be there. So you need to open the profit or loss on disposal to calculate the profit. So that's why it is wise to start with the workings first. You open the PPE account. You open the PPE account first. You also open, remember the PPE account, you need it, and the profit or loss on disposal. You also need to open that account. Maybe on this question we're calculating the sale proceeds. Maybe the profit will not be given, you calculate the profit. Maybe the additions will not be given, you calculate the additions. So you just balance off these two. They have a relationship, guys. When you open this, you must also open this. They have a relationship. Just like a pastor and a pastor with the Bible. You understand? Relationship. Right. So are you seeing this? I remember I was giving people examples, things that do have a relationship. So, but when I told them that pastor and the Bible, they argued. they said that no, not these days, because they say that these days is now past and women. Right, so guys, let's move on. So we are done with the investing activities. You close off. So the sale proceeds is an inflow, that's why it's positive, right? So let's add. So this is negative 3.8. You add 1.1. You also add 320. So you get 2380. So since you are done with the investing, you can record it on the last column. You see? You can record it on the last column. Record it on the last column. Now the last heading, so the last heading, guys, is what? So we have 2380, right? Negative 2380. The last heading is financing activities. Financing activities. Number 3, financing. So on financing activities, nothing much. Now on financing, what are we saying? On financing, we are looking at things, we are looking at the equity, we are looking at the debt. So a company is financed by two things. By debt, you take loans. You also invest your money in capital, share capital. Right. So I'll go to the equity section. So this is what they do in your exam. Remember what I said, in the exam it will be a format, right? So a format, most of the questions, what they do is, they will just write the word issue of shares. They will just write the word issue of shares. And you need to put an amount. So guys, the issue of shares is a combination of two things. It's share capital and share premium. It's a combination of two things. So you look at your share capital. Your share capital is increased by how much? Your share capital, it is increased by what? 1,000 increase, right? Are you seeing this? Your share capital is increased by 1,000. What about share premium? Share premium is also increased by what? 16. So you'll be given the word issue of shares. And just know it's a combination of two things. If the share premium doesn't increase, you deduct. You understand? If it's increased, you add. So the total, that will be 116. Right? And what about the retained earnings? Guys, the retained earnings are the profits. We are doing cash flow statements. So we are recording the movement of cash inflow, cash outflows. So if you have the retained earnings, you open the retained earnings account to see if the company paid dividends. Because we pay dividends from the retained earnings, you understand? We pay dividends to the shareholders. So I'll open the retained earnings account. The retained earnings account. I'll open this account. DRCR. The retained earnings, the balance is on the credit side. Obviously, the profits, the incomes, they are represented by a credit balance. So that's why my BD, I'm recording it on the credit. So this is 66,040. The CD on the opposite side, 74,790. Close off. Or below this, I'll record the profit for the year. The profit for the year. So I'll go to the profit or loss. Profit or loss. Profit or loss. Guys, I'm seeing the profit for the year is 8750. Profit for the year is 8750. You remember what we did when we opened the taxation account? The concept is the same. Like your profit initially, it was 66,040. The profit for the last year, right? What about for this year? It's what? 87.50. I'm getting a total of 74,790, right? I'm getting 74,790. If you compare with the CD, you get what? 0 here. Are you seeing this? In total, the profits were supposed to be 74,790, right? But the CD is still the same. It means we didn't pay what? Dividends. If there were dividends paid, we were going to deduct here. You understand? So dividends paid, it's 0. You understand? The dividends paid is nil. The last thing then, is the loan. What is the loan? The loan amount. The loan amount. Guys, the word debenture is the same as the loan. You understand? Debenture means loan. It's a non-current liability. If you look at this, the loan amount increased. So is it an inflow to the company or it's an outflow? It's a what? Inflow. It means we received money. How much is that? 3.5, right? So the issue of loan. Or you just say debenture. You understand? Maybe if I write loan, most won't be able to remember where I got this from. So I just write debenture. The issue of debenture, that's 3.5. You close off, you add 1610 is positive. We receive the loan is positive. So 5110, right? Right, you write this on the last column. So we are done with 3 headings, guys. So this is what I want to do now. This is what I want to do. I done copy. Right. So guys, we have 3 headings, right? We do have 3 headings. There was a cash flow from what? The first heading, it was operating activities, right? You agree? The second was what? Investing activities. The last one is what? Financing activities, right? And what is the balance that we got from operating? I still remember it was 270 positive, right? What about the total from investing? 2380, right? It was negative, right? What about financing? It was 5110. Remember, don't forget that we have 3 zeros on the top. Don't forget that we have 3 zeros on the top. So if you say 270 less 2380, you get 5110. What do you get? What do you get? 3,000. The net cash. You remember what I said initially? When we started, we said we want to prove that the cash is going to increase by how much? By 3 million, right? You remember? You remember this balance, the 3 million. And so from the 3 headings, we have seen that we are getting an inflow from operating, outflow from investing, inflow of this amount from financing. So what you do, you'll be given a format. This is your net cash. So you just add the opening cash balance. What is our opening cash and cash equivalents? On the question, it is 1250, right? That was the balance from cash current assets. that amount. You see that? So we want to prove that our balance is going to move from this to this, right? So you add the 1250, then you get what? 4250. That will be your closing cash and cash equivalents. And this one, this is for 2000. This is for what? 2001. So that's Cracker Company. So you are